Welcome to the Mouse Pals podcast. I'm Andrew, and I'm here with my pal Jeff.
Hi, everybody.
This is a 30-minute show about talk about Disney parks and properties. We'll bring you the news and a deep dive into the most interesting Disney topics. How are you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Good, not too bad. Can't complain. I'm 1 year older. My birthday was yesterday, but other than that, it was all good.
Well, happy belated birthday. I know I sent you a text message.
You did. Yeah, thanks.
Did you ever find out how much the discount is for the AARP card that you have now for Disney?
Not yet. I'll have to call them about it.
All
I'll
right.
have to call them. Maybe I renew it when I renew.
Yeah, sure. Hope it's significant.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I feel like it should be since I feel like I'm so old now.
That's right, you are. How old are you now?
35 now.
You are
I
old.
just
Is that when you
ancient.
collect Social Security?
Yeah, I think I'm close. Based on my knees, I think I should be close. Falling apart.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah. So, well, I know we have a lot of news, so we might as well
We do.
just jump right in.
All right. Well, I know we talked about last episode about extending our annual passes for the time that Disney was closed, and I finally called up.
You did. So how did that go?
Oh, it didn't go well at all.
Oh, that's not good.
No, it's not good because, the first time I called up, say it was, I think, the last week of July.
Right.
I called up the annual pass holder line. It was maybe 5, 6 o'clock. And it took me 5 minutes to try to get to somebody to talk to.
Right.
So I get on, I'm ready to wait for somebody. And it says we're closed.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm it took me 5 minutes to try to get to somebody to talk about the pass. And I'm like, why don't they just post the hours online? They probably do. I just didn't see it. So I called up the following day. Well, when I say I called up, my wife and I called up.
Okay.
So I got to give her some credit because she
Right.
stayed on the phone while I was working.
All right, doing hero's work. Okay.
So called up the annual pass holder line, WDW pass, something like that. And they said it was going to be a 26-minute wait to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So 40 minutes later, we talked to somebody.
40 minutes? Okay.
40 minutes, yeah. And to Annie's detriment, she had to listen to a lot of the same songs over and over again for those 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Disney has such a huge selection of songs, you think they would not play the same songs over and over again.
Right. They have a deep bench, right?
Poor Annie. Anyway, we finally got to talk to somebody, and they say, "Yeah, you can't extend your pass for the time that we were closed. That should have been called. You should have called up in March."
Really?
Yeah. So
Okay. And for those who don't know, they gave the option initially. They published the option that you had a choice that you could postpone your annual pass to you could postpone your renewal date based on the amount of time that they were closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't do that now. We called up. We waited close to an hour for everyone listening who doesn't know about it and realized that you can't do it. So
That's awful. I mean, did they say that? I don't remember them saying that in any of the news releases. We obviously went through it pretty thoroughly.
yeah, I don't recall reading anything like that. So that's unfortunate. But hey, what can you do? I may take some extra time to actually renew my pass or start a new pass over again.
Right. Yeah, and that is interesting because I told you that I had called briefly, sat on hold for maybe 10 minutes, then got bored essentially and left. That was in June, I think. So I guess that would have been closed. So at that point, I should have just waited, but I just got too bored.
They probably had that option just before they opened up, but oh well, what can you do?
I guess nothing. Well, that's a shame.
It's a real shame because, going into the business news, Disney lost $3.5 billion last quarter in park revenue.
That's crazy. That's mind-boggling numbers. Is that worldwide or just Disney World?
I believe it's worldwide. They have a lot of parks, Tokyo.
They do.
Of course, Disneyland, Disney World.
Yeah, Shanghai,
Paris.
Hong Kong.
Yeah. All over. $3.5 billion is a lot of money.
That is quite a bit of money. That'll impact your bottom line.
But the good news is that the parks have reopened, and although that the crowds are lower than Disney expected, spending per capita per guest has actually exceeded the cost of running the place. So that's good news.
That's interesting because, I mean, at least initially, I know that I've heard from people who work there and cast members saying that they thought that they didn't know, because there's so many few guests, they didn't know how that they could even be paying to stay open. But it's good to know that they're paying for themselves, essentially.
Yeah, no. When I went to the park, which we'll talk about later, I went to Epcot, and
Right.
it was the lowest I've ever seen it. Even when the park first opens, I'd never seen anything as little as this. It was very nice, quite pleasant, and I felt very safe. But it was really low, and of course, we'll talk about that very soon.
Okay, yeah, we'll jump into that, and I'm excited to hear about it.
And as far as other business news, people have been trying to wait for Mulan to come out in the theaters and been postponing it, pushing it back, and it seems like Disney's actually going to release this on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that it's going to cost about $29, really $30 to watch it on Disney Plus.
And that is to buy it, actually. That is not to rent it.
I didn't really check the details. I don't know if they officially listed the details yet, but that could just be like a home premiere type of thing, like they've been doing recently with a lot of the movies.
I'll tell you, it is to buy it because I got initially the Wall Street Journal sent a little notification on my phone saying it's $29.99 to rent the movie, and then they actually sent out a notification saying, correction, we meant it is to buy the movie.
Oh, look at you turning 35 and having a subscription to the Wall Street Journal.
That's right, and getting notifications on one of the few apps that'll I'll let give me notifications.
Wow, I'm surprised you're able to learn how to do notifications, you old man.
I know, it's all this tech stuff. I need to get a grandchild to teach me how to do it. That's interesting. What do you think? Do you think that you will partake?
I'm not sure. I know Andy was really into the animated version. I think there's a little bit of controversy with this particular one since they're so pro-China government. I don't know if I'm really that interested in trying to support actors who really support the Chinese government, considering how they treat their citizens there.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think all those corporations are kind of kowtowing to the Chinese Communist Party, but this is not that time for this podcast. But I agree. But also, I mean, it's pretty steep. I mean, if it were cheaper and if there were like a rental option, I might do it because it's not a movie I'm really interested in buying. I get how it's so expensive because you potentially have multiple people watching it at one time. Where if it were a movie theater, you'd be paying for each person to go in there. But I mean, it's pretty steep, and I just don't think I have the interest there to watch this particular movie since I've seen the cartoon. It might change a little bit in the story, but it's probably not going to be that material.
No, I think if you got a family of 3 at least, I think you might be able to, and you're interested in it, obviously, it might be a better deal for you than actually going to a movie theater, which obviously you can't because it won't be in a movie theater. So this might actually be a more cost-effective time to do it and to watch it. So if you get a family.
Yeah. It's a weird time. I guess this is probably going to be how it's moving from now into the future, but
that's right.
It'll be interesting. I'll probably wait a little while. I'll probably wait until it comes out on rental or even on Disney Plus just normally for no charge.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movie companies, some news about Universal.
Okay.
Each of the parks are going to be reduced by 1 hour. Universal Studios will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's closing about an hour earlier. It is an hour earlier. While Islands of Adventure would be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is opening an hour later.
Oh, interesting.
And some sad news for people who like attending probably the best Halloween party, scary party there is. And Universal's not going to have their Halloween Horror Nights this year.
That is a shame. I used to love doing that.
Yeah, it's a wild time. It's really cool. The best haunted houses I've ever seen. The production value is really high in there, and it's a big production event, so it's going to be sorely missed, but it'll be back next year.
And it is the direct opposite of Disney's not so scary Halloween party, which we'll be talking about. But it's a shame that we're missing out on that, and that we won't be able to. Nobody will be able to go to that, but I'll understand why.
Yeah, and going to Disney, as you just mentioned, that Disney's obviously not having their Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, but they will be dressing up Magic Kingdom in the holiday decorations. So
that's good. That's great, because that's such a magical environment to be in.
Yeah, unless you're a cast member, then probably the whole month of October is blocked out for you. Yeah, so cast members are blocked out for the month of October, but they did open up sometimes, I believe, in August for some of the cast members. They might do the same in October if they're having low attendance numbers, which they reported today that they did have low attendance numbers. So it might be likely that cast members can't go in October to the parks.
Interesting. I guess you're just having too many cast members go in and maybe not leaving enough room for the other non-cast members.
I guess so. They have attendance limits, and they're concerned about it.
Right.
Maybe people make reservations and don't show up.
Right.
To the parks. So.
Okay.
But anyway, Andrew, do you have any news?
Yeah, I have some stuff to go over. In transportation news, boats from the Wilderness Lodge to Magic Kingdom are resuming.
That's good.
Also, Disney announced a new type of annual pass, and so they call it the Disney Magic Flex ticket. For those who are interested, it costs $130 for a 2-day ticket that can be used in September. So it's for the September time period. Now, this is interesting. So it's 2 days, and it's a good value. I think it's only open for Florida residents right now, but the normal tickets for Disney World cost $109 per day. So you're obviously getting a good value there for getting a 2-day ticket. You can upgrade to a 3-day ticket for $174 or a 4-day ticket for $195, which are really good deals.
They're very good deals. If you can get $50 a day at any of the parks, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are. I can't remember a time when those happened. That was before my time.
Yeah, sure. Okay, old man.
It was a long time ago.
I remember it was 15 cents.
I trudged down in snow uphill to get to Disney World.
That's right.
So that 3-day option, however, is only going to work from July 22nd to November 20th. The 4-day option is going to run from November 20th to November 29th. And the caveat here is that the ticket can be used only on one park per day on non-consecutive days. So let that sink in, non-consecutive days. So it makes sense that it's only to Florida residents, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's someone who can drive there. It's a good way to use that ticket.
I mean, again, it's a good deal for those who it makes sense for.
Yeah.
Did you see that there was one of the logs in the Splash Mountain ride sank?
Yeah, I saw that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's it's closing. You have people buying out their merchandise, and now the logs are sinking.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to sell one of those sunken logs.
Maybe I'd buy it. Actually, the video is pretty crazy. One of the cast members chastised the people in the ride for getting out of it, saying they should have stayed inside while it sank. And if you look at the video, completely submerged in water.
Oh, gosh.
There's actually some new safety changes for Disney shows as well. So you have Beauty and the Beast, the live on stage show. Mm-hmm. The crowd size has been reduced for that show, and the show is going to be re-choreographed so that all performers are 6 feet apart at all times.
I've never seen that show, but I assume there's probably some dancing in it, maybe between Beauty and the Beast. I don't know how they're going to do that between 6 feet apart.
Yeah, it's going to have to be more like a 6th grade dance. You got to stay a couple arm lengths apart. The girls can't touch the guys. So also the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, a great show. It is A sweaty fight scene in Indiana Jones is unlikely to return anytime soon.
Oh, that stinks.
It is. They are. They're redoing it so that the fight scenes won't be in the show anymore. So we understand why, but it takes a lot of the show out. I'm having a hard time picturing what it'll be like.
Yeah, I'm sad that Disney has something against violence. Really terrible. Real shame.
That's right. Well, that's sweaty violence.
Sweaty violence.
The Festival of the Lion King, also a good show that I've been to.
I've actually seen that too.
You have or have not?
I have.
Have. How'd you like it?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bit Cirque du Soleil, a lot of flying, a lot of jumping around. They are redoing this as well, so that'll be easier to social distance, so that the cast can stick to themselves. There are going to be some of the aerial ballets, the Lovebird, I'm not sure which one that is, and the Can You Feel the Love Tonight ballets are going to be changed. So with these changes, you really wonder why would you go and see them unless you had kids that kind of made it a thing where you have to go to these shows. And why not just wait until normal, unless you're watching it really just for the novelty of it, just to see what it's like and say that you kind of were there when you saw it. But it's hard for me to picture why even go to this.
No, I would never show up again to one of these shows, let alone have a 6-foot safety barrier between everybody. So
yeah.
I'm going to pass this time. Yeah.
Yep. We knew that Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, along with Disney Vacation Club Resorts, would open to guests beginning on June 22nd, which they have. However, the Polynesian and the Art of Animation, their openings were delayed from August 12th due to the pandemic. Mm-hmm. Disney Polynesian Village Resort is scheduled to open on October 4th, postponing it from that original date, while Art of Animation is going to be pushed way back until November 1st.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so other resort news is July 29th, so it's already open, but Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort opened up. The Yacht Club is going to be opening up on the 24th of this August. Mm-hmm. On September 21st, the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. October 4th, the Polynesian, like we said, for the 14th, Coronado Springs, and then on November 1st, our Art of Animation. So we have really slowly reopening, probably because there are not a lot of people coming in right now, so they don't need them. So they're gradually opening these back up.
Yeah, I'm glad they're reopening some of those ones up, especially like the Yacht Club, the Grand Floridian. I think the Grand Floridian is actually housing some of the NBA players, the Polynesian as well, when it comes to being one of the nicer resorts that I like looking at and visiting. So happy to see that they're opening up.
Yep, for sure.
So you have any news about wearing more masks?
So Disney has issued some clarifications regarding mask specifications, saying that face coverings containing valves, mesh material, or holes of any kind are not acceptable face coverings. So those are the mask changes, just for those who are curious or going soon, that they should know that.
Oh, good.
Also, kind of rounding out some of the news, Disney has decided that public showers are now going to be unavailable at Walt Disney World hotels, which kind of begs to think, why were these open in the first place? But
exactly,
they are now not
showering.
Exactly. Depends. But anyway, I'm thinking about you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But we can always do that in non-public showers.
Is that a bear taking a shower?
And then for me, is that an old bear taking a shower?
That's right.
We might edit that part out. Family friendly. Let's see. So, Jeff, instead of the deep dive today, we're actually going to be taking a deep dive into your Epcot trip because you actually visited Walt Disney World this past weekend, right?
I did. I visited, let's see, how many days ago? Today is a Tuesday. I visited on a Friday. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say about 4 days ago. And,
Okay.
so far, I feel good. I don't know what's going to happen. I guess a couple weeks from now. So I think the virus takes a while. But thank the good Lord. Hopefully, I don't have anything right now.
That's right.
Anything in the future.
That's right.
So we arrived. I guess we left around 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning, and of course, there's a huge traffic accident on I-4.
That's right. It wouldn't be. At least some things are getting back to normal.
Yeah. Fortunately, people died in this one.
They did not.
They did die.
Oh,
Quite sad, and also delayed our trip a little bit later.
Okay,
than
that's
normal.
awful.
It is quite awful. God rest their souls, and hope everyone else is all right. Maybe it was a way for God to tell us, "Hey, you shouldn't go to Disney." But hey, I'm here right now.
You powered through.
Powered through, and it was maybe a little bit over a half hour extra driving to do, but it wasn't bad. But when I first showed up in the parking lot, I felt pretty good because we got to basically one parking lot away from the main entrance, which was good because it was also, I think, maybe 95 degrees at the time, 94, 95 degrees at the time. It was sweltering hot out. So first thing we did was put on our masks outside of the car. So we walked from our parking lot to the front of the line there, in front of the entrance. And I had my mask on the whole entire time. And I know what's going to go on. I get my temperature checked. But I get my temperature checked, and I'm over the 101.4 degree mark.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And they checked my forehead, and then they checked the back of my ear or something like that, somewhere towards the back of my head, and I was still over 101.4. They didn't tell me.
Really?
Yeah, no, they didn't tell me what my temperature was, but I was like, oh boy, that's not good. I did have my hat on. I did have my mask on, probably walking maybe a quarter of a mile.
Uh-huh. In disgusting Florida heat, right?
Yeah. I mean, the heat index was over 100 anyway. But walking with your mask, maybe not a great idea unless you get close to other people. Then put it on, or maybe take a little bit of a breather because we try to get in there 1, 2, 3, but maybe not such a great idea because I ended up testing. I had to go sit in the tent for about 45 seconds to cool down, which luckily.
Okay, so you got the cool down, which we talked about, I think, last week.
We did. It was
okay.
It was not a comfortable process because they have the tent open. People are looking in at you like a pariah of some sort. And
that's right. You have the scarlet letter. They know that you're one of the infected, probably.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh boy.
So where do they have the tent located?
The tent is within maybe 15 feet of the entrance where they test your head, where they check your temperature. So,
okay. So do they have it gated off, or you put into a little pen? Do they have you corralled in there?
Yeah, they put you in a little white tent.
Huh.
Say like double doors. It's just a big tent, kind of like a little event tent. And you go in there. It's a private room between you and the person that's going to check your temperature. And they have a little fan going on. It's cool inside. I think maybe some sort of other cooling mechanism inside.
So was there a line, or was there?
There were multiple.
Were there other people waiting? Oh,
yeah.
Multiple tents. Okay.
Actually, 3 of my 4 party members tested positive, except for Annie, because she's so cool.
Nice one.
So we all waited about 45 seconds in the tent. I had a little bit of water, cooled down, sat down, took my hat off, took my mask off, and they came back over and checked my temperature, and I was fine and good to go.
Oh, good. Great news. How about the rest of your party?
The rest of the party, absolutely fine, because otherwise I wouldn't have gone in because they would have banned the whole party.
That's right.
So luckily, so far so good. I get into the park, and they're busy doing construction all around the center of Epcot to basically redesign it. So the first stop we have to go to is your favorite top 5 list of drinks, and that's getting the champagne at the festival tent, the World Showcase tent.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm jealous.
You should be, because the first thing we ordered was a $32 glass of Dom Perignon.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
killing me. How was it?
It was delicious and very refreshing.
Okay.
And
Okay.
inside the tent, well, not inside the tent, it's the World Pavilion Center. Not too many people in it. I think maybe by the time we showed up, it was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It was nice and cool inside. Like I said before in the previous episode, that the particular convention center there has a big roof, and the ceilings are tall, obviously.
Right.
So, and the spacing between the tables was great, and it was nice and cool inside.
Okay.
Absolutely great, and a great place to stop by first, especially in this over 100 heat index.
Right. So where's the festival tent? Is that near the Canada Pavilion, or is that the one?
It's between Canada and the UK.
That's right. Okay.
So we left there
Okay.
quite refreshed.
Okay. Did you get a little kielbasa too?
I did not. I didn't.
Good.
I was.
That makes me happy.
Yeah, I did get it, and it was good. I
It
got a
was so
picture.
good.
I'll text it to you. No, I was so hot, I guess, that I just wanted something really cool to drink and didn't want to think about food until I got to France. And then another top 5 list is that you had the duck roasted in its own fat, which was absolutely the duck confit was c'est magnifique. It was.
Oh no! Did you just go around and hit up everyone?
I absolutely did. I took your top 5 list and saved
just to rev it in.
that. I saved a few just for this podcast.
Ah, that's great. So that was good, huh?
Oh.
Did it deserve it on the list?
It was absolutely, yeah. It was actually better than I expected. Quite good.
Huh.
And what the interesting thing is that there was only one person working that entire France food booth.
That's crazy, really.
Yeah, they have several items on the list, and he was the only person there. Luckily, I mean, there wasn't anyone really in line. I think one person showed up after I ended up ordering, but it's he has his hands full. Had his hands full.
Yeah.
Probably still does.
So how was it interacting with the cast members? I assume they were not French. They were probably local cast members, right?
That's what it seemed to me, and I tried speaking my limited amount of French. Merci beaucoup, and he did not say a word to me. And I said it again to him, and he did not say anything else to me.
Okay. Or it could just be a normal French person. Yeah.
We.
Explain the eating experience? Obviously, we know you can't walk around with your mask off, so you can't walk and eat.
No, you can't. So the good thing is that they have tables not too far away from the food booth, so you go over and sit up. It's usually the stand-up tables, and sometimes they have some park benches, which they block off one side if there's a dual-sided bench. You can only sit on one side, but they're nicely spaced from everybody. You sit down, well, not sit down, but stand up and eat, or sit down if you're in a picnic bench and eat as well. And the experience was just fine. It's just hot outside. You like to go inside or walk around while eating, but it's good standing still and eating. It's fine.
Right. So were any of the shops open at this time?
We wanted to go for a second glass of champagne at one of our favorite places that sells champagne in the back of France Pavilion, and that was closed.
Oh, okay.
However, the bakery was open, but we didn't want to go wait in line. Just came back out, and I think we ended up getting some different champagne at one of the booths that's there annually. They're there all the time.
Okay.
And then we went to Brazil. Got my pork belly. It was quite good. Quite good.
That's great.
And we got also on your top 5 list, the cheese bread.
Okay. 3 out of 5. Good.
Yep. Quite good. We went to Japan, and we wanted to get some sake, but the main sake, the sake booth was closed. And the only way for you to get inside to the actual back area where they sell sakis, you have to go through the front gift shop. We ended up walking to the back of the Japan Pavilion, and it was only a one-way, and it was an exit. So you had to walk all the way back to the front of the Japan Pavilion and walk through the entire store in order to get to
interesting.
the back area where they sell all the candy.
So when you were there, about how many other people were in the store in that area?
That was probably one of the only places that I felt the most uncomfortable. And it wasn't that bad either because obviously everyone was wearing a mask. However, everyone was inside. There was the most amount of people I've seen. There's people obviously within 6 feet of me, so quite a few of them. But I guess I can't blame it because it was nice and cool inside.
Right. Yeah, it's the good part about the air conditioning everywhere. Cools you off for sure.
Yeah. Well, we ended up going to ride some rides after that.
Okay.
We went to Test Track, and
how was that?
it was great actually. Of course, there's 5 of us at this point, so we had our own car, obviously, and every group gets their own car anyway, which is very good as well.
Right. And so you didn't have fast passes, right? So
didn't have fast passes. That's right. The line would have been maybe 15 minutes, but by the time we showed up, they were started cleaning it.
Okay.
And that takes about 15 minutes for them to clean up, I guess, do whatever sort of cleaning procedures they have, which I felt very good, but also the impatient side of me was like, I just want to go in it now. It's okay. I'll go put some antibacterial. I'll go wash my hands afterward.
That's right.
And then we went to go ride Soaring, which was very nice as well because I guess maybe they already finished cleaning up. I think maybe they clean every ride on the hour or something like that. And we showed up a little bit after the hour. So we got on maybe at about less than 10 minutes. I think the queue said 15 minutes, but I guess maybe it takes about 10 minutes to walk through the entire queue. It's a long queue at Soaring.
Right.
So we ended up having our own row, which was nice and Soaring. And sometimes some of the seats are separated.
That's impressive, yeah.
So maybe I think they have at least 2 groups on there, depending what size of the party you are. And of course, we maybe talked about some of the line queues going back to the line queue is that they have actually plastic barriers separating or glass barriers separating the line queues when you're watching or actually in line for this particular ride, especially when watching the video, the pre-ride video, safety video. And of course, Test Track, they also had some glass barriers while making the turns and passing people behind you in line.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, it was pretty good. I felt quite safe there compared to places like I would frequent, like the supermarket. I felt more safe at Epcot than I did at places more so than the supermarket. So I was very happy to go. I feel good right now. Of course, you may not exhibit the symptoms at all or may not exhibit symptoms for several days. So we'll see what happens.
So did you observe any of the cast members cleaning things? Did you just anywhere around? Did you see any of them? Was there a lot of cleaning?
There was a lot of hand sanitizer. I noticed a few people cleaning, but I wasn't really looking out for that. I was really kind of just making sure that my party and myself were not too close to anybody. And, and everyone was actually wearing the masks for the most part. I think I might have noticed one person eating and drinking without their mask on. But, everyone took it seriously, and it's obviously something to be serious about.
Yeah. And a lot of people were respectful of that, I guess. So
they avoided me. I avoided them, and try not to get too close. People were eating and drinking with their mask off, stationary. So,
sounds like an introvert's paradise for Epcot, like Disney.
Absolutely, no.
Did you see anybody incur the wrath of the social distancing cast members?
No,
please. Okay.
I didn't hear anyone. I mean, like I said before, most of the people were wearing their masks when they should be wearing their masks.
Good.
And I didn't have to hear anybody get yelled at, nor myself. So, like I said, you got to take this seriously. These people are taking it seriously. And Disney's taking a lot of good precautions, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad to hear that it was. It sounds like it was as safe as can be. It was taking the precautions that they can take to also keep it open.
Yeah, I was well pleased with it. It exceeded my expectations. I thought about going early on, and I didn't want to go. I wanted to wait for the numbers to go down. And, you just sometimes you get tired of sitting at home doing the same thing over and over again.
Right. I think a lot of people can agree with that.
And I'm totally fine and totally agree with people that, hey, you still want to stay at home? That's more power to you, because that's the safest thing to do.
Well, good. I appreciate you taking one for the podcast.
Yep, anytime.
Good,
it did make me
good.
want to
Did you
make
have-
more reservations, so I did make reservations at the end of the month to go to Animal Kingdom.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Where are you going? Are any more plans to go? So you're going to Animal Kingdom. And now you do not have to have a hotel reservation, right?
That's correct. You could just sign
Okay.
up if you have an annual pass, and I think, of course, if you have a ticket, you could sign up for a park reservation.
Right. Well, it's something to consider.
Yeah, if you're on the
yeah, I'm
edge
glad.
of going, I encourage you to go. But if you're not, you don't feel comfortable, don't go. I don't blame you at all.
Yeah, I think that's good advice, and good advice for everybody. But if you do go, make sure to social distance and stay clean.
Yeah, wear a good mask.
That's right.
Drink plenty of water, because it's still hot out there too. You don't have to worry about just the virus alone. You have to worry about the heat.
That's right. Well, that sounds good. I appreciate the firsthand report, and I think everybody appreciates that.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just feel free to post on our Facebook page, Twitter, comment on our Instagram page. We're here.
That's right. And make everybody, I think that's everything. And make sure to subscribe to us as well as to rate us. And if you like what you're hearing, and make sure to send us any questions that you all have about this or anything Disney. So be happy to do that and read it.
All right, take care now.
All right. Sounds good. Bye.